Yeah, yeah.
Copy of antiquated
Hi, Tom.
regulations.
Hello.
Standards. They're in there.
Oh,
Here it goes.
excellent.
It goes to center.
Somebody just has a.
Oh, they changed it. Okay, they changed it.
Usually it happens when they're speaking, if they become the
So
primary.
this wasn't here before they did an update, so whoever's on, so we can see the room, and now I can see.
Doing
who's
well, now that I
also-
made it.
Okay, yeah, you should go to stage.
Company bought
Yeah.
all new nameplates for
Karen
everybody.
did that.
He bought new seats for the
Oh, this is
peanut gallery.
Nice.
Alex.
Nice.
He bought a whole new
Alex?
podium for
You're
the
gonna
big
step it up,
waves.
man.
Adam,
Adam.
Adam
Adam.
Cole.
I mean,
Step it up.
they didn't used to have any of this, but
See?
look what they did for you.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I'm just glad
I
they got rid of the orange crates.
I
Hey, there
sent a copy of this
Sorry,
to
what?
my
Hey,
friends.
Oh, did you?
I
Under,
sure did.
under privilege of the floor,
Sure.
we'll let, if you want to talk about, yeah, I know I talked about some updates on the hangars. It's not on the agenda, but I'm sure they like to, hey, how's it going?
Hi, Mike.
I'm sure they'd like to
Perfectly
know
fine, I can
about
go
it.
through everything, not
Yeah.
sure where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also under privilege of the floor, if you want to talk about our new controller, you can let them know.
Sure.
About that.
All right.
Because he usually doesn't come till now.
Have it on the
I
privilege of
have to
the
pay
floor.
attention.
Ryan, just be quiet.
It's gotta be something important.
Take care.
Piece of metal to.
Tom, did you say something?
Good.
Whoa. I don't,
Yeah.
Well.
Can't hear ya.
That's not gonna break us though.
I figured that. No.
Still can.
This, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I know we.
Tom, we can't read lips.
Well, it's one word making all the difference.
I think you both have to have the speaker on,
You know, how legal.
not to tell you what to do.
But we heard him
yeah, a second
initially.
ago, he was,
Yeah.
It's all about. Yeah.
I thought we could have corrected it in a subsequent meeting, but they
can
didn't.
you hear us now,
I
Tom?
think they go.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's not the hell I'm.
He said he can hear us.
That's very
There'll be
odd
other
need to be able to hear.
Can you,
Oh, almost. Oh.
You should try to get out, and get back in. So you can get out and get back in. And that's what it is.
You wait on him or you want to start?
Well, we
You
can't
need
hear,
him.
we
You
can't
need
hear
him to be
Tom.
able to,
Oh, you can't hear him?
yeah,
No, he's,
no.
I think it's on his end.
Yeah.
Do
Voice
we,
on mute.
we either need him or
Nothing yet, Tom.
Doug to shout.
Can you hear us now?
I hear,
Oh.
We hear you start to talk and then it goes blank. Can't hear you. So is it on his end?
That's gotta be on our end. It's when it switches is when you can't hear him no more.
Oh.
So you may have that screen muted when it shoots up there. How that works, I don't know, but.
or five.
Tom, can you maybe sign out and sign in again? Oh, he's calling Andy.
Hello.
Do you want to do it this?
Yeah, well, if you want to, we can do it this way, yeah. She was gonna suggest you sign out and sign back in. Right, Dad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a bad thing?
I can't move that.
There's no moving it because it's
sitting on top
of the TV.
Thank you.
I, s-
No,
Yes, you did.
my cousin, I don't have a
That's
cousin.
a voice on the front end.
Yeah.
No, no,
Does the whole screen tilt?
I don't have a cousin Laurel.
No, I don't have a way of.
We physically move that.
Nice try, Tom.
Maybe she's blaming me anyway.
there you,
What's going on?
That's some quality engineering.
Yes.
I don't understand why he's coming in.
Okay.
Let's try that.
So you have to stay unmuted here, but this is. Video.
You unmute.
Then you get all kinds of people.
You can do that, okay? All right, well, we're good.
Yeah, so-
It's a gift now, where you should be able to.
The password. Hey, Andy,
Uh-oh.
Andy, let Tom know. The password is
This is my dinner.
Yeah.
capital J,
Capital J,
lowercase a-n,
lowercase a-n,
and then capital B,
capital B,
capital O,
capital O,
capital A,
capital A,
capital C,
capital C,
2025.
2025. Copy that?
That is the password I set. Is there a meeting number? Is it asking for a meeting number?
Yeah. Can you hear? Okay.
Pin. Always have a pin.
This is why I attend in person.
Yeah.
There you
He's
go.
back.
Can you hear?
See, it's right, that is correct. It's right when he switches over to the big screen.
When you switched over to the big, well, when it switch on the full screen, that's when you stop. That's all. We don't know. Okay. I think it
I don't think-
switches, I think when you start talking, it switches to your full screen, I think. It's
Yeah.
voice activated. Is that right, Karen?
This is, our system, what is, not Zoom, it's the,
WebEx.
WebEx, that's what it does.
Well, we've got his audio here on my phone. We don't know where Doug is, so. We don't have a lot on the agenda. Why don't we go ahead? It's up to you, Bruce.
We can get started. He usually comes after we
Yeah.
do the
I just
first two
sent that to
things.
you, the announcement.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna try it with you on my phone audio, Tom.
Very good.
Okay.
Could you have a mute?
Don't jinx it.
Okay, the Board of Aviation Commissioners meeting is now in session. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting? And if so, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of December 23rd. All those in favor, roll call.
Bruce,
Aye.
Maggie,
Is Doug here? Oh,
No.
Aye.
Tom.
Okay. Minutes are approved. The claims were sent out to everybody to read over. Were there any questions on the claims? Is there a motion to approve them?
I'll move to approve the claims.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the claims. On the question? I guess none. Roll call.
Bruce,
Aye.
Tom,
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes,
Okay, claims are approved. That was easy. We're ready for Andy.
Okay, I'll be kind of brief. I just bring you up to speed. I've had a conversation with, the Hangar 39 tenants. They're interested in exploring the possibility of building a new hangar. That's still in the preliminary stages of discussion, so as that moves forward, we'll let you know. They would likely sell their interest in the existing Hangar 39 and either build on a currently vacant parcel on the south side of the airport, or they may explore purchasing a hangar that's there and demolishing that and rebuilding, but, that's still yet to be decided, but we're talking about that right now. And we're also looking at their existing land lease, to know where the lay of the land is on that. Again, they may be requesting the board to consider an extension of that land lease, so when they sell the hangar, it has some more value they can put toward new construction. Hangar 39 is the hangar that's owned by, jointly by Patrick Industries, Wells Packaging, and by NIPCO. So all good airport tenants, been here a long time, very supportive of the airport. The other things I want to talk about are primarily underneath the new business portion of it. I will bring to the board's attention that we have had a conversation with an airport tenant about the interest in providing de-icing here at the airport. That's something that we're currently not don't have permits to do, but we're gonna, we never want to reject anybody's request out of hand, so we're gonna look into that, make sure if it is allowed, it's done legally, environmentally correct. And so that everybody kind of knows who's responsible for what, but hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have more information about that. You may have seen in the news that there was presidential executive order halting some federal grants. I think that's been rescinded, but in the meantime, we'll look and see what effect that might have on us if it does go the other way as far as the our T hangar project and other things. And I know BFNS is here under privilege of the floor. We'll let them bring you up to speed on the T hangar construction project. There is some new information on that. With that, that concludes my report. Anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Other than welcome Maggie onto the board. Yes, Tom? Oh, aircraft. Yeah, dispensing liquid chemical onto the wings to. No, we don't offer that currently, haven't needed to. The FBO, their method of de-icing is putting the aircraft in the hangar and letting it warm up and then out it goes, where another tenant though has inquired about it, so we're gonna explore that before we provide them some direction, and obviously the board will need to make some decisions on it after legal has looked into it and all the environmental issues have been taken into consideration.
Are there certain permits have to be taken out and all that?
Right, yeah, we have a permit with IDEM right now that says we're not doing any of that. So that'll need to be edited, altered if we're going to do that. And then there's inspections that are required. And more than that. Again, we'll be looking for some direction from the experts on that so that we're doing it all.
When they do that, does that have to be in a designated area that
Right,
could
Right.
actually drain and collect this extra
Right.
stuff or not?
that's right. Yeah, it does. It has to be, it's a chemical that, obviously it runs off on, you've seen them do it on televisions, run off, it's going down in a drain. You can't just allow that to run off into the grass, which all the drains here do that. I don't think any of them are connected to sewer. And of course, this, as you pointed out, or somebody pointed out, this is a well field protection area, the airport is, so that also, is a concern that needs to be looked at. So again, we want to make sure it's all done properly and legally. And if we can do it, all that, and it makes financial sense to the interest, then by all means, that'll be something we look at, but I'll let you make that decision when I have more information.
Okay.
I would suggest, that you run it by Brian Kress.
Yeah, that's right.
He is the regulatory affairs person of Public Works. And, he deals a lot with IDEM and the EPA.
Okay. That's Brian Kress.
Yeah, CRESS.
Oh, yeah, Kress. Got it. Thanks.
Okay, if nothing else, we're into new business. 2025 elections.
Right, as you know, at the first meeting of each year, you have to nominate and elect, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer of the Aviation Board. Currently, Doug is serving as president, and Bruce is the vice president. I think, was it Sherry was the,
She was the
Had-
treasurer.
had been the
Or-
treasurer, or no?
No, she was the secretary.
She was the secretary, okay, and then there's the treasurer, so somebody want to nominate somebody for president?
I nominate Doug.
Okay, you don't
I
show up to a
second
meeting?
Yeah, miss a meeting, Doug.
Okay,
That's funny.
We need a roll call for that.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Well, do we need roll for
Yeah,
each
think about it.
individual one or once?
Unless you want to keep the slate as the same. You can't because Maggie's new.
Okay.
No.
So we have.
I move that we amend that nomination to nominate Doug Thorne for president, Bruce Schreiner for vice president, and Tom Shaw for treasurer.
Nice.
do we have a second?
Second.
Sorry.
Second.
Do they accept the nomination?
What about the secretary?
Well, she's not gonna
Yeah.
nominate herself for something.
Then Yes.
They're gonna amend that, so we have to amend the amendment.
Yes.
So you vote on one and then the other,
Yeah,
first one?
vote on
So
accepting the
first we
amendment.
need to vote on if we agree to amend
Yeah, you gotta vote on,
Tom's original motion.
yeah. So you need a
Okay,
first and a
roll call.
second.
Okay.
Do you have a first and a second on that?
Yes,
We do, okay.
So
sorry.
this, we're voting on
The
the
amendment.
amendment to the
Yes.
amendment.
No, the amendment that he, the amendment that
Okay,
he made to her motion.
okay.
Bruce,
Aye.
Maggie,
yes.
Tom.
Yes.
And then we gotta vote on his and the amendment to the amendment.
Well, instead of doing that, why don't we just keep the three and then I can be just,
Separate.
yeah.
Okay, all right,
That's fine.
okay, fine, cool.
So we need.
Okay, that's, I
nominate-
nominate Maggie for secretary. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to make Maggie secretary of the board. Roll call.
Tom,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes,
Maggie.
Yes.
motion passes. I think we
It
have
was.
all the officers.
You're on the payroll.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
don't hold your breath. Okay, airfield maintenance manager snow symposium seminar.
Right. Yeah, no, and annually, I think I sent you a memo on the Aviation Association, or no, the AAAE, the American Association of Airport Executives hosts various training seminars and classes throughout the year devoted to certain segments of aviation training. One of the things they do is a snow and ice control symposium. That's always in Buffalo, New York. I attended that. You may recall before we purchased the snow and ice control broom, just to kind of kick the tires, see what all was available. Also during that week, in addition to the exhibitors showing their wares, there are also training opportunities and classes for aviation professionals. I'd like for David Sandsmark, the maintenance chief who's here, to attend. He'd like to attend that snow symposium in this in April. April. So we do have the funding. We did, we got the funding for training and travel in the budget. So I'd like for the board's authorization to send David to that. I think he's gonna drive.
We have a motion.
I'm
Joe.
Here comes Doug.
Even though it's April and there won't be any more snow. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and
Hey,
second.
Doug.
All those in favor, roll call.
This is.
Maggie,
Yes.
Bruce,
We had to
Yes.
set it up 'cause Maggie's
Tom.
here.
Okay, motion passes.
Yeah, do the right
Next up,
You don't
Good. My apologies for being tied up.
so,
we need to do a
safety,
motion to-
school and training, Andy.
The another AAA worthwhile training opportunity. I attended the Airport Safety and Operations Specialist Training School 27 years ago. And obviously a lot's changed since then. I found it to be pretty worthwhile. I'd like to refresher. There is another opportunity to go to that. It's, I think, in March of this year, and it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Again, I'd be driving there, so I'd be gone, I think, for 3 days. Again, we did budget for training and travel in the 2025 fiscal year aviation budget. So I'd like the board's approval to attend. Then, of course, I'll come back and share all I've gleaned from that with the maintenance staff.
We have a motion to send Andy to the training seminar.
so moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, roll call.
Bruce,
Yes,
Maggie,
Yes.
Tom? Do I include Doug?
I'm,
I thought,
I am
I
here
thought, I
now.
thought we needed
Yes,
an
I'm
amendment
here.
first before.
I'm here.
Doug,
For
okay,
what?
Doug,
Hi.
I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Just has to be on the
I'm a
record
little
that
bit
Doug
wounded
showed.
here.
Oh, in the minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have to be verbal.
Oh,
We voted you in.
I voted, I told my director
Because
that I
when you
was
get through
cut
roll
out
call,
of
he
the meeting.
wasn't there, so now you have to amend the minutes to show that Doug showed up.
Well, we're
But nothing
docking
to
your
be
pay
said.
just enough
He should.
to offset
Bruce should
your
have said
your
that.
lateness.
They reelected you as president too, that's what you get for being late.
Mhm.
And you sound like this is something.
I don't like
there you go, you
Well,
take
you know.
over, you get to do
Please.
the next to the
All
last
right.
thing.
Motion carried, by the way. What next item on the agenda is the T Hangar 35 lease payment waiver.
Right, John, Ferguson is a airport tenant. He owns 3 aircraft. He's just sold one. He told us that this, sale has been pending for some time. Just want to make sure he gave us plenty of notice that at some point he'd be out of the hangar. Because he provided us, advanced notice, and then the sale did go through. We had already invoiced him for the month of February, so we would like your permission to waive his lease payment for the month of February, because he'll be out of that hangar and he'll be available for lease by the end of this month, January.
Okay, a motion.
Go ahead, motion first.
I would make a motion to waive his February payment.
Second.
Second by Tom. Now, Mr. Fish.
So do we have, is there a clause in the contract that allows that?
Yeah, it's once required, a 30-day notice is required.
Okay.
And
You
again,
meant that?
he provided that, however, he couldn't tell specifically when he was gonna be out, but he just wanted us to know, instead of just out of the blue, by the way, I sold the plane, you know, I'm gone. So,
Well,
we're,
just-
I'm, again, he's been a good tenant, he's a good airport, you know, tenant, he's still leasing 2 hangars.
So as long as
That's
he's
why I wanted the board to make that
met his
decision.
obligation, that's all I'm concerned about.
Oh, yeah, he always pays his rent on time, and he's, you know, took good care of the hangar, and he's always been above board, so,
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And yeah, presume we already have a successor renter,
Now, yeah,
not yet, but
that won't last
I was
long.
gonna say, they move very quickly.
Yeah, that one won't, especially because that's one of the larger T hangars that we offer. It's one of just 3 like it. Larry Mativer's in one of the others.
Any further discussion? And then Karen, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Maggie,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes,
Yes. Motion carries. Next item is privilege of the floor.
All right, for anybody who doesn't know, my name is Adam Clausen. I'm here from Butler, Fairman, Cypher, where the engineers are gonna be running this year's T. Oh, sorry, I've been talking about South Bend too much. We'll be running the T hangar project this year. So recently, we just received plans from the contractor. We got everything approved and sent back out. Talking to Erectitude is a company that is manufacturing the steel for this structure, and basically it's an all-in-one package. They'll send it all out as one thing. Because of all this bill grant money that came out that was eligible for these hangar projects, we have heard back from them just in the last 2 days that they're backed up all the way until August. So what that means, this project needs to be done by November, right? So the contractor still believes if everything shows up in August, they can complete the structure. Everything will be completed on time by the end of November. What's going to happen though, in the meantime, all of the other parts of the process, all the dirt work, all of the asphalt work, all of the concrete and everything for the subgrade, all that will be completed this spring and then this summer. And then as soon as the steel arrives, they'll start erecting and hopefully have everything completely patched up by the end of November. So the impact isn't significant, but I just want you to know that time of year, who knows what the weather's going to do. We really hope that they can deliver on their promises, but because of the delays from the manufacturer, it may get pushed a little bit farther than we thought it had originally been. On top of that, Andy had brought up the congressional funding issues. At this time, from what we know, we don't expect anything to change. We don't think anybody's gonna lose funding. We don't foresee these presidential allegations or plans going through. So I assume that we'll just remain on schedule as we were. Is there anything else you want me to cover, Andy?
No, that's great. I would just add that, you know, the delay on the construction of the new teeth hangers isn't altogether a bad thing, because, you know, we're getting ready to, when the weather breaks, to have our new information sign put up here on County Road 6. That'll give us the opportunity to kind of market the availability of new hangars to the kind of tenants that we want, which are twin engine aircraft owners. So, you know, thousands of people, I forget what the traffic count is, see that every day. So in addition to reaching out to some of our other airport sponsors and others, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to have a good start at having many of those pre-leased prior to, you know, cutting the ribbon on it. So again, the last time we built new hangars was the city did was 1997. So another 6 months, I'm still happy. So.
I have a question on that.
Is there any benefit to marketing the potential of having those T hangars ready? I mean, can we go out and essentially advertise that we've got this
Yes,
space?
yes, you
Yeah.
can. You can do it just like any apartment or housing. You
Okay,
can say,
We'll be able to show
construction, estimated completion date this
Yep,
time.
okay,
picture.
so we could start getting leases signed.
Good. I mean,
So
Yeah.
I'd be slightly hesitant when you start signing leases for an exact date. If you push past that date, your liability goes up.
Okay,
So, but you can definitely start spreading the word, advertising, trying to get people's names on a list.
thanks.
take deposits.
I have a question on that. So is this a verbal commitment that they'd have it done by November if they get it by August?
So the
Or-
original contract dates, that was the done by date, and I believe there's liquidated damages in the contract. Whether or not we choose to express those, usually sets a bad example with the contractor, but it's right now at this point, it's not on the contractor, it's on the manufacturer. of the
Right,
building.
we don't want to get in a position to where the contractor's pointing the finger at the distributor. So if it shows up on August 1st, like they're anticipating, and then they don't get done, can they backtrack and say it's because we didn't get it on time?
I don't believe so. So I think at that point it will be on them as long as the manufacturer holds to their schedule. Because they're agreeing at this point that that is plenty of time. They think it'll only take them 90 days maximum. They're hoping for 60 days to complete the structure.
I got a question then.
Yeah.
Liquidated damages. Is the board the entity that can enact those, or is it because it's a federally funded project? Can the Fed say, look, why are you charging those guys?
So that's I don't have all the answers on that. That's a better one for Paul when he's back. I believe it's on the owner and the tenant.
Okay,
You can choose whether you want to enact or not. In my experiences in the past, most times people don't enact those unless it's egregious.
yeah,
Like it's an intentional malfeasance or they're really just completely missing the mark. It creates a bad example and people don't want to work with you in the future if they know you're gonna nickel and dime them and come after them if they miss it by a
gotcha.
week.
Thank you.
I'll give you an update on,
I'm sorry, she didn't know who you are.
oh, I am the tower manager, Mike Heller.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. In December, we had a new controller started, and I briefly talked about him last December. He has worked out very well. He's experienced. He's got 40+ years of air traffic control experience. Also, he's been another tower manager at other places. He last worked for Midwest, but he was a controller in the Air Force, and then also with the FAA. Worked at 19 different towers, so he's very experienced. He's worked out very well. I have no concerns about him at all. We just this Monday started another part-time employee. He is fresh out of air traffic control school, college in Valdosta, Georgia, where he actually worked the tower. He worked the tower there for about 6 months. We had previously had another young man that we had hired full-time out of that school about 2.5 years ago. And he worked it out exceptionally well. He checked out much faster than I ever expected. And I'm anticipating this young man to do the same thing. He impresses me as equally qualified as that other one. And if anything, I think he's even a little more mature for being a young guy. I think he's going to work out well. He's really just had the 1 day so far, and we're going to kind of work him in when we get decent weather so that we make sure we have some traffic for him. I don't want him sitting around up there in January and February here doing nothing. So, and he knows that. He has another job where he's working for his uncle where he can come and go from there without an issue. So that's going to work out really well for us, I think.
And he's
Yeah.
part-time.
He is part-time. And I'm sure his agenda is much like that other young man that we got out of Valdosta. His idea is to come here, get certified, get some experience, and then apply to the FAA and move on to the FAA. And I've got no problems with that because A, it's going to help us, and B, we're helping him. No issues. The other guy that was here, he is now working at Willow Run. He is certified at Willow Run, and he's a regular FA controller there now. So beyond that, I don't really have a whole lot else. It's been a little cold in the tower on some of the cold days, but we're getting by. So we got a couple extra heaters up there that when it gets chilly. So.
We put in they've got candles. Yeah, all those windows, it's got it's got the heating and cooling unit, which is in the ceiling, I think.
It's on the roof.
Yeah, it's on the roof, and but it's always been the case there, I think. I know that there is a heater that's out in the staircase that is being in the process of being looked at. The airport is under contract now, as are all the city buildings for HVAC with Johnson Controls. So they came out and they did an assessment of all of our heating and cooling needs. There's a little bit of a hiccup getting started. I think taking on 38 buildings in addition to their other clients, I think was a little overwhelming at first. And there was a miscommunication, I think, in what was needed. But I know, David, you met with them yesterday?
Today. He claims, he just sent me a message saying that the tower heater is fixed in the stairwell and our rotation one they're waiting on parts for, and he'll be out tomorrow to do our boiler.
So it sounds like they're getting on track now. So hopefully it'll remain that way. So, yep. Ryan, you got anything? I know I was just kidding. I told you to sit there and be quiet, but you don't have to.
Follow direction.
Thanks.
Right, I'm sorry, I wasn't here at the sudden meeting. You can let it fall.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. Do you have anything further? Hearing that being the case. Motion to adjourn? Mr. Schreiner's already ready. He's closing
So moved.
his vote.
I'll second.
Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Okay, ready?
You gotta play with the next meeting.
This is.
Just see if you set up a
Oh,
dummy
just so you know,
meeting
Sherry was in.
with somebody else, just to
We
see.
had one of those made up for
Yeah.
her, that had her years of service with the aviation board for her name on it. She said whenever she has a dinner party, she's gonna put it out on the paper.
Tom, I'll get a hold of IT. I'm just not sure what the issues were.
Doug. You're
Hey,
supposed
look,
to
Brett,
find
no,
some
I'm gonna
Be here
document.
for a couple minutes.
Yeah, we're working on
Your
it.
volume's up.
I've got our.
I gotta run to the tower real quick to get some
This
music.
stuff up before it was
So
even
I'll run
born.
over there, get that.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Yeah,
yell
I'll
at
be
me,
here.
but I don't have an answer for her tomorrow.
I talked to her last week.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's a control freak.
Like reading more.